What's up, guys? It's Parallax Abstraction, and welcome to PXA Peeks at JYDGE. I don't quite know what that's about. Yes, indeed. So this comes to us from Finnish developer 10 Tons, which is a small team that I've actually grown fairly fond of in the last little while. They're probably most famous for their cult hit twin-stick shooter Crimson Land from back in the early 2000s, but they are also the makers of Neon Chrome, which is a cyberpunk roguelike that was actually one of my biggest surprises last year. I really enjoyed that game, and when I reached out to code for this game, which is actually set in the Neon Chrome universe, what they told me was that there was a number of people who said, yeah, this setting and stuff is cool, but I'm not really into roguelikes, so could we get something a little bit more action-focused? So they did. They came out with this, which is definitely very much more action-focused, but still has some roguelike elements to it. They actually call it a rogue hate, which I find kind of amusing. But I've actually been enjoying this quite a bit. I played a bunch of it during my Extra Life stream, which I did recently as for when this video is going up. And I wanted to show this off to you because it is very much a more action-focused take on Neon Chrome, and while I really liked Neon Chrome, there's a lot to like in this one as well. So the idea is that there are a number of different missions with different objectives here that you will replay frequently. You can replay them to gain more resources, and you also have normal and hardcore objectives. This kind of looks almost mobile game-ish, but what they basically are specialized objectives in each level that you don't have to complete in order to move on, but you will get substantial bonuses if you do. And as you progress through the levels and earn more resources, you can upgrade your weapons and your JYDGE to make yourself more powerful and to make going back and doing older missions simpler. And by doing that, eventually you will sort of max out your guy and become kind of an unstoppable force. I mean, it's very much a Judge Dredd kind of analog that you're playing here, right? And as you can see, just like Neon Chrome, and for that matter, Crimson Land, there are a redonkulous number of upgrades available for both your character and your weapons. This is kind of one of the things that 10 Tons does really well, is coming up with a huge not only number of objectives, but a very wide variety of things that they do. So you see, I'm just scrolling over some of these things here. And you can have up to 4 equipped at a time if you can purchase all the upgrade slots. I've got 3 out of 4 there right now. And you see they vary substantially in terms of what they can do. So this is what's called your cyberware, which are basically augment upgrades for your JYDGE. And in addition to that, you have what's called your gavel, which it's a gavel, but a gun. And it's sort of one of these multi-weapons that you can alter in a number of different ways. So you have your secondary weapon, which is heavy rickets. So I don't know what the deal is with this, but in this universe, everything that is spelled with a U is spelled with a Y instead. Branding, I guess? I don't get it. It's kind of funny, though, the way some of these read. So you've got your heavy rickets. Sorry, I'm just pronouncing it the way they are. And you also have these other upgrades available that you can apply to your gun. So you see here, you can fires 360-degree plasma bolts each time you start reloading. Your projectiles won't harm citizens. That is important in certain missions. So this is a handy one that I've been using, which is that kind of looks like a little vampire, which is that it heals me a little bit every time I kill people, which in the later missions is very important. This weapon also has melee capability, so you can increase that if you like. Piercing lead, your non-shotgun lead projectors pierce well. So you see what I mean here, right? There's a really substantial amount of things you can do. And of course, here are the different gun types. They call them fire modes, but it's really gun types. And as you can see here, now the only thing that does bum me out a little bit is that unlocking a lot of these things, you do have to purchase all of these different upgrades, but beyond that, you also need medals, which are those special objective things to unlock them. So I've said before that I'm not the biggest fan of games that gate progression behind completing arbitrary objectives. This very much does that. You will need a certain amount of levels to progress to later levels into the game, and you will also need medals to unlock the better guns. And it's not to unlock the guns, it's to unlock the ability to purchase the guns. Not my most favorite things, I'm gonna say. I'm definitely gonna say that. But, you know, it is common to the structure of games like this. So you see here you have lead billets, which is sort of a machine gun thing. You've got a shotgun You've got plasma rounds, and I've got the heavy laser. And you can upgrade all of these to a very substantial degree. So you can see all the pips underneath there. You can upgrade these things substantially, and doing the upgrades gets expensive real quick. Like this one here, as you can see, it's 11,000 bucks. So it's pretty significant. But there is a huge, though I'm not the biggest fan of some of the ways in which progression is gated, there is a crazy amount of content here and a crazy amount of ways to customize your JYDGE and get, you know, sort of attack missions in very different kinds of ways. So I'm going to go back to some of the old ones here and just show you some of the basics here. So some of these medals are very easy, like this one here, rescue all the hostages and loot all the containers. But other ones like exit in 20 seconds, exiting any mission, any of these time ones, I have found to be a friggin' nightmare. It's been really, really tough. And the other thing is, some of these objectives are not completable along with other ones. There we go. So some of these, oops. So that citizen got blowed up, so that didn't necessarily work so well. So yeah, but you can retry a mission very quickly, and off we go here. So some of the objectives that you will get cannot be completed along with other ones. Like the other two objectives in this, which are to, I think, rescue everybody and loot all the containers, you cannot do that and get out in 20 seconds. So if you want to beat every objective, you are going to have to replay certain missions over multiple times.
Get out of here.
Also, your guy sounds like a hilarious, like, Scandinavian robot, which I love. So I have a little power up there as well that electrocutes enemies whenever I stand near them, which is kind of handy as well. So, alright, so yeah, some of the objectives are not that difficult. Others are really, really tough. And you're going to have to probably replay multiple times and balance things the way you want. So you see I've completed the objectives here, so all I got to do now is get back to my car. And we out. Sentence executed. Yeah. So you see I earned some money from doing that, even though I've done this mission before. And I can come back here and rerun this as many times as I want if I want to grind out some upgrades. There is no way around it. There is going to be grinding in this game. And if that is not your jam, that's going to be probably a pretty big bummer for you. So I can definitely tell you that. Also, some of these objectives here, like don't get spotted. Not getting spotted in this game is very difficult. The enemies can see you from a pretty big ways off, and you can't always tell which way they're looking. They don't have vision cones. Now, there may be an upgrade you can buy for that. I don't actually know. But yes, that's something you have to be cognizant of. So you see there, unseen failed. So it's very, very difficult. Now, there are some stealth upgrades you can buy that definitely can help you sort of balance that out. So you're going to have to, in a lot of cases, be really... Oh yeah, you can do this too. Bye! Oh, I love that. So in some cases, you're going to have to be very careful of how you balance your mods and weaponry. Like, it's definitely going to... You can definitely make some of these objectives much easier on yourself if you're careful about that, and if you buy objectives that best suit the situation that you're in. You know, certain measure of tactical awareness is very, very key. Oh God! So as you can see as well, damn it. So when citizens get away, the enemies will shoot at them if they see them running. You can actually direct citizens that you've rescued to stop and halt, so you can actually sort of balance that out. But I find the easiest thing, if you can, at least in these earlier stages, is just to clear the level out before you rescue anybody, and that way that you can be ensured that they'll always get to safety. So there are in a number of different levels, there are containers that you can loot that will give you extra money. In some levels, you also have these little healing things here, the auto dock, which you can use once, that will heal you up. Very, very critical in some levels, without a doubt. And because this is sort of a Judge Dreddy kind of universe, ain't no one give a crap if you wreck the place. So you can go through and basically just destroy the living crap out of anything without penalty. It's get the job done no matter what you have to do, right? So for example, here's a thing here that I can do something with. Oh yeah, so that just locks down the elevators, which I'm not actually sure what purpose that serves, but... And what I like about this in particular is that there is a wide variety of missions available. Like, there's one actually particularly difficult one that where you have to survive, like, it's basically a wave-based survival thing. It's called like Shift from Hell, and you have to survive a just constant onslaught of enemies. Some of them involve rescuing guys, some of them involve collecting evidence, some of them just involve killing all the enemies. You know, it does mix things up, and it's not always the same type of mission over and over again, which I quite appreciate. The variety is nice, and it requires you to think on your feet and to, as I said, mix and match your abilities and your weapon customization and other things like that. I do very much appreciate that, and though it is a grind in many cases, it's not bad, because as you've seen, these missions are relatively fast. You know, they take a minute or two for the most part. This is a game you can play in very short sessions when you've got a few minutes, which is something I like. I do appreciate games that do it. So here's Shift from Hell. So this is a good one. But, like, look at the base medals here. Survive for 50 seconds, don't take any damage, and then loot all the containers. And hardcore is 60 seconds, use only melee. Melee is rough in this game, especially when all the enemies have projectile weapons. So here we go. We're going to lay it down. So yeah, we have... What the hell did I just do? I've never had that happen before. I guess I have an ability that makes a... Oh, it makes a double, like a Hollow Duke kind of thing. Oh, that's cute. I didn't even know I had that ability, so... But as you can see here, I'm quickly getting my ass beat. And I mean, I don't know, like, how am I supposed to do this with all melee? I must need some crazy, like... I must need some crazy shield power-ups in order to pull that off. I don't even know. But you also saw that rocket that I shot there, which is one of the specials that I've unlocked. Oh, you know what I did? I hit the Y button, which engages the two-player mode. Derp. Well, that's, yeah, drop co-op player, thank you. Okay, that was the other thing I didn't mention, is that this game does have two-player local co-op, which I think is really cool. I think that would be a really fun way to play this. As always, I will say, yes, online would be better, but online is a lot of work for a small team to put into a game, and yeah, it's not frankly practical in every case. It would always be nice, were that wishing made it so. I would love to be able to play this online with some people, because frankly, I don't have a lot of people over to my place to play co-op games on my PC, but, you know, that's kind of more of a me problem. But it is very nice, you know, having two players to do stuff with is very cool. So you saw there that a civilian got shot up. Yeah, they did, but because this wasn't a mission based around rescuing civilians, ain't nobody care. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know what I'm saying? So the neat thing about this mission as well is that, so there we go, medal survive achieved. So I haven't looted all the containers yet, though I haven't actually seen, there they are. There we go, so I got the looter achievement. Now, the neat thing is, too, is you can see that these fools are dropping money, right? So if you think you can hold out longer, you can stay here as long as you want. You can bail out at any time once you completed the base objective, but if you think you've got it in you to take out a pile more waves of guys and earn a bunch more money, the game won't stop you. Though, of course, you get yourself killed, and, well, you know, don't say it didn't warn you. So I like that as well. Again, it gives you freedom to, and it gives you a little bit of a gambling aspect if you want. You know, you want to take some risk, then you go right ahead and do that. So I'm actually earning not a lot of extra money, but some, and you know, you can sit here and grind out upgrades if you like. And all right, so I think we done enough here. So let's get back to the car. Peace. Oh God. Haha. Too soon, Junior. All right, there we go. But I earned a nice chunk of change from that because I also completed the medal, which was $1,000, as you can see. And we've unlocked a new special weapon. High explosive is the cutting edge of non-nuclear explosives. Detonate by long pressing the special button. So there we go. So it's a new special. So that's kind of nice, right? So what do we have here for things? So you see something like a stun grenade or a shock orb would actually be very useful in that mission, right? Because that mission was very crowd heavy. So maybe what would be a smart idea is let's buy that and upgrade this a little bit. Now, yeah, we've spent most of our money, but I bet you that this mission, if we wanted to do, say, the hardcore objectives, one of which is surviving 60 seconds, might be okay. I have not managed to do this yet. Collecting the evidence is also tricky as well because it backs you into some corners. So you see there's an evidence here, and in this mission the enemies will always find you. So, and you have to survive longer here, and also this is the hardcore mode, which means that there are a number of more enemies here. The hardcore mode is not just different, more difficult objectives, it's just harder all over. But, you see here, my shock thing, it's wrecking some suckers. Oh, but nope, I got myself screwed again. So you see, this is still pretty rough, but... Alright, so we did that. And as you can see, I could have either bailed out with the credits that I earned there, or I can retry, but in which case I don't get them. Oh yeah, there's also named enemies in this, which are kind of like mini-bosses, and they have the most hilarious names, like Mikey Jim. I also came across a guy in another mission that was named Coolio, and I was like, wow, these guys grew up in the 90s like me. I thought that was pretty cute. This game really doesn't take itself seriously. It knows it's kind of ripping on Judge Dredd, which was kind of a cheese factory to begin with. And it knows that, you know, it's not trying to be this super serious thing. It's not trying to have some kind of societal commentary or anything. It's like, look, you're a friggin' future cop in a horribly corrupt society, and you're wrecking criminals, and that's, you know, go do that and enjoy. That's really all it's about, which is what I really like. The guys at 10 Tons are very good at this sort of arcade style of just pure action stuff, which is what I really like. So here's a new one that I haven't tried yet. So collect all the evidence, don't take any damage, and loot all the containers. All right, let's give this one a go. And you know, it's kind of a shame because as I'm recording this, a couple of days prior to this, Double Meat Butchery, that looks like a chicken fish. Huh. Well then. One of the things that made me really sad the other day was that as I am recording this, it was actually revealed the other day that Housemarque, which is one of my favorite small developers ever, and who makes some of the best mechanically focused games ever, is actually exiting the sort of arcade genre space because basically people aren't buying that kind of stuff anymore, and it's become very hard for them to make the money that they as a company need making sort of arcade style games. And that really made me sad because, oh god, hey Ray, listen Ray Rex, god, wow, that guy's on meth, holy jeez. And yeah, that made me really sad because I love this genre of game, and you know, it really bugs me that in an era where everybody's lining up to buy loot box AAA crap, but still complaining about it, that people aren't stepping up and buying cool games like the stuff Housemarque makes that are made by a small team and treat players fairly. But 10 Tons seems to be... They have always run, you know, sort of run that gamut as well, and they seem to be sort of picking up and running with it. They're a smaller team than Housemarque, at least as far as I know, so my hope is that these guys are remaining successful enough to continue to make this kind of stuff in that genre, because I'm really enjoying it. And, oh, wow, that guy's a dick. Holy jeez. And, yeah, I really enjoy this kind of stuff because it's one of those games that even though it gets very hard, it doesn't frustrate me. Like, I die in this repeatedly and I don't get mad. I just like, yeah, okay, let's go again. You know, stuff like Hotline Miami was very much like that as well, is that it's a game that's, oh god. Okay. This was unanticipated. So this is actually a boss enemy in Neon Chrome, which I thought was kind of amusing. Ow. So, yeah, but it's really cool that these guys are still making this kind of stuff, and I hope they get to continue to, because I've liked just about everything by 10... What? Okay. That thing did not go gracefully. Because I've enjoyed just about everything 10 Tons has put out, because that's the thing. Everything that they make plays really well. You know, in this game, the controls are super tight. You know, everything is very responsive. When you die, it doesn't feel like it was the game's fault. It does feel like it was your fault. I really like the very varied soundtrack that this game has. There's a large number of different songs in it that play during the levels, and they mix it up in terms of both genre. Oh, right, Ray. I forgot about you, Ray. Ray! Bruh! Damn, Ray. You mean, man. And I do like how they're, they made Neon Chrome, which I really liked, but then they also just went, hey, you know what, we can make something that shares some of the elements of that people liked, but also has a little bit more of an action focus in it, and plays a little bit more like Crimson Land, which is the game that we made before that people really dug. You know, I like that they are. God dang it, Ray! Holy crap! And I really like their willingness to experiment that way. And as I understand it, I don't think Neon Chrome did badly for them. But you know, I think they figured they could do more with that. And I will say a couple of things, which is that the 10 Tons games, I do like the very colorful art style that they have here, but I mean, from a technical perspective, their games are not really lookers. Oh, Ray, bruh, come on, bruh. Why you gotta be like this? Oh, I almost had him too. Ah! You win this round, Ray. So yeah, I mean, I think the sound effects in this are pretty good. I think the sort of cheesy voice on your character is really good. I do like the colorful art style. From a technical standpoint, this game is not very impressive. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it does look a little bit dated. It looks like something from sort of the PS2 or Xbox era, I would say. But that's okay, you know, it still plays well. And the thing that's nice about this is this has allowed 10 Tons to kind of put this thing on. There we go. Screw you, Ray. Man. This has allowed 10 Tons to put this on just about everything. One of the things that really surprised me was that this game is not only on PC, it's on the PS4, it's on the Xbox One, and it's also on the Switch, which I thought was really cool. They also ported Neon Chrome over to the Switch, which I think is awesome. Oh, God. Okay. So you can play this in a wide variety of places, and you can also play it on a relatively low-end computer as well. So this scales down very well. You definitely don't have to. You definitely don't need a beast of a computer to play this, which I appreciate. And that's the thing. Like, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks fine, and it definitely nails the sort of vibe it's going for. And I've been having a ton of fun with this. I think this is really good. I actually really enjoy Neon Chrome as well, but I appreciate what they did with this too. And just the sheer amount of customizability and the amount of hours that you'll be able to get out of this is quite impressive. You know, there is a lot of grinding, and if you're not someone who's into that, you're probably going to be like, you know, this is going to be a bit of a time sink. And I can appreciate that. If that's something you're not a fan of, then you might want to give this one a pass. But the missions are so short and just so fun, even when you've played them a number of different times, that and I don't have the So the door to get to the last crate actually needs a red key card, which it doesn't look like I have access to here, so I guess we're not going to be able to get that mission as well, but oh well. But yeah, it's a game that doesn't require a lot of your time in one sitting, and you can always sit down with it and feel like you've accomplished something, which I can really appreciate. Only other thing I'll say here is that at least when I'm capturing this, it looks like the frame rate is very stuttery. If that is actually coming through to the video, it does not run like that when my capture software is not running. I think it's just my capture software causing it to twitch. The game is very rock solid otherwise, and as I understand it, I think it runs at a solid 60 on all the consoles as well, which it definitely should given its look. So. But this is a good amount of fun. I've been really having a good time with this, and I think if you like twin stick games and you want more of that sort of, well, Housemarque style arcade action, but you don't necessarily want the level of depth, complexity, and roguelite-ishness of Neon Chrome, this sort of strips things back to their fundamentals a little bit more, and definitely makes it less of a grind and less of a slog, I guess I would say. But it still makes things, it's still very entertaining, and it's still has the soul of Neon Chrome in it, which is a game that I very much enjoyed, and I think this carries that through very well. So yeah, that is JYDGE, I don't know, developed and published by 10 Tons in 2017. It is on the Steam for PC, Mac, and Linux. It is on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch. It's just about friggin' everywhere. So it's very easy to get. It's $15. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I highly recommend it. Even if you did play and enjoy Neon Chrome, this is fun in its own unique way as well. And yeah, now that Housemarque's out of the arcade genre, I hope 10 Tons can pick up that mantle and run with it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked what you saw here, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That does help me out a great deal. If you want to watch something else, check out the videos on screen now, and don't forget to follow @PXA Media on Twitter to find out about new stuff first.